Welcome for the first time, really officially, to the End of the Fourth Football Show. We are no longer a podcast, we are now a show. And I am your host. Nothing's changed in that regard. I am your host, B-Hizzy, aka Brennan Hurst. And as always, I am joined by the fantastic, the one and only The Prez, Chris Mullaney. How are you doing, mate?
I'm all right, mate. I'm all right. This is a good week for me. I'm looking forward to this one.
Yes, it is your moment. I mean, I don't know if this is kind of making up. You got all this going for you for this week in return for a fantasy playoff defeat to yours truly. But Chris has gone up in a huff. Yes, so like I say, it is week 15 done in the books and concluded. Everything is done. 16 games, no teams on bye. And we shall review them all now. And we'll start with the Thursday night matchup, which saw the San Francisco 49ers defeat the Seattle Seahawks 21-13, sweep them for the first time since 2013, and clinch the NFC West division title with Brock Purdy, a quarterback, his second start. Impressed with him. He's not done anything too outlandish. That's the thing. But he's done exactly what the 49ers have needed him to do, and it helps when you've got a guy like Christian McCaffrey there in the backfield to carry a lot of it. 26 carries, 108 yards, and a touchdown. That's a good start.
Yes, but I do worry about them. I worry for them.
Yeah.
Worry because during the regular season, I'll throw the ball to Kittle. I'll give the ball to McCaffrey. Deebo Samuel's now out, but he's got those two there as a great safety valve.
Mm-hmm.
But come the playoffs, if they end up getting the Commanders, or they end up getting, I'm not going to say the Giants, but they end up getting the Cowboys, they'll just take those two right out the game.
Yeah.
And then who's Brock Purdy going to throw to?
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's doing what he's meant to do.
Mm-hmm.
Make safe throws and, lead his team to a win. That's what he's paid to do.
The defense can cover up a lot of the slack, but the thing is, he's not been playing bad, so it's not like it's a thing that's like the defense has to cover for him.
Oh, no. I completely understand that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know you're a stats man and you like reading all our stats, but
numbers.
Some of the stats that you can look at can make great quarterbacks look fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I could be the crappiest quarterback in the world, but if I'm on my 1 yard line and I throw the ball to a wide out and he runs for a touchdown, I have 99 yards. I've thrown the thing 4 foot.
Yeah.
But as I say, Brock Purdy's doing what Brock Purdy's meant to do, and he's got the best coach for him, which is Kyle Shanahan. Couldn't have picked a better coach.
It is a very to have the Kyle Shanahan, a very quarterback friendly system on his side is a it's only going to lead to success no matter where you're drafted or if you're not drafted. Obviously, we know Brock Purdy was Mr. Irrelevant, the 200 and whatever pick it was in the draft, and he's filled in excellently, and you'd feel confident enough that he could rise to the occasion and win the 49ers a playoff game.
At home, yes.
Mm-hmm. And they will have a home playoff game.
Yeah, they'll get at least one.
Mm-hmm.
But I do not fancy him going on the road to, and I'm going to say it, going to Minnesota with that stadium noise, going to Philadelphia. I do not fancy him going there and winning. But we did our playoff review show, and I had the 49ers winning the Super Bowl. So I'm going to stick with it. But we'll see how it goes. But kid's doing what he's meant to do.
Exactly. We look at the other side. Geno Smith, I don't think he was particularly bad, but I have this, the kind of measurement is he was on the high end of possibly throwing the ball too much, and I think a lot of that's down to the Seahawks ground game is non-existent now. Kenneth Walker has, I think, walked himself out of offensive rookie of the year candidacy, to be quite honest, and it's not all on him. The Seahawks offensive line isn't going to help a lot, and 49ers run defense. They've played a few decent run defenses the past couple of weeks, the Seahawks. So It's there's a factor in that, but regardless, only 12 carries for 47 yards for Kenneth Walker, and it resulted in Geno Smith having to throw the ball 44 times, 238 yards, one touchdown, and 31 completions on that. That was a weird way to go around those stats, but it doesn't matter to me. So no, it's not I don't think the Seahawks could be disappointed. I don't think they were built for a division title. I think they're still obviously right in the mix for the playoffs, and can sneak in at that 7th seed. I think they've got a tough finish, to be quite honest.
I don't think they'll make it.
No,
I told you last night who I think is going to be 7th seed, and I sent you today how it's going to happen.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think that I think they'll be in the mix, and I think that if they can get past the Chiefs relatively unscathed, and we'll get onto the Chiefs, but they've not been particularly convincing the past couple of weeks. So it's not as if it's a lost cause for the Seahawks, and I'm not saying they will win now, but 9-8 in the NFC right now, things go their way. They could see the 7th seed.
It's crazy the difference in ability between the two conferences, because 10 wins might not get you anywhere in the AFC. But we'll see how it goes anyway.
Exactly. Both teams kind of poor on third down. 49ers 6 for 13, Seahawks 4 for 13. Seahawks turned the ball over, had the ball less, more first downs but less yards. So it's not a way to beat this 49ers team. You need to be physical, you need to outmuscle them up front, and the Seahawks just don't have the personnel to do that. But I think that both these teams will be fine, to an extent.
Yes.
Wait and see if the Seahawks can make the playoffs. I think they can. They're exactly equal, perfectly balanced, as all things should be on points differential. It's exactly 0, 355 points for and against.
Yeah.
So it will be interesting to see how this division concludes, for sure.
Yes.
All right then. Well, we will move on to possibly the game of the weekend here, with the Minnesota Vikings coming back from 33 points down at halftime to win the game 39-36. And I'll let you have your moment, and I don't want to come across as a salty Packers fan or anything like that, but this is simply the most pathetic thing I have ever seen on an American football field, from the Colts. I can't believe this happened. I don't think anybody can, for one thing, but it was just... How do you explain that? Well, yeah, but I don't understand how you can explain that. And now we saw the Falcons collapse all those, so many times with Matt Ryan, and now there's a common denominator here: is he's done it again. He's outdone himself, and the Super Bowl obviously wasn't on him. I don't think the defense was a problem there, but a lot of these times is how do you need
pick me.
Yeah, go for it.
Does Matt Ryan play defense? No.
I'm just saying, but for an experienced quarterback,
he got them 33 points ahead, plus a couple of defensive touchdowns and defensive. Right. Anyway, they didn't turn up in the second half, the Colts defense, but they did. What happened was Kirk Cousins flipped a switch and became elite. And this is why I love stats, because of what I saw online. The Vikings are now +2 point differential.
They were minus 34 at halftime, and came back to make it
+2.
+2. I mean, tells you everything, really, doesn't it?
But play the game. I mean, you said about the Titans interception, which we'll get onto, but that screen pass to Dalvin Cook was just, it wasn't the actual pass, because I mean it's a screen pass. If he drops it, it should be dropped. But it was the fact that he got it, ran, and then he took a couple of Colts defense with him.
Yeah, I just, again, I really don't want to come across as a hater and a salty Packers fan, but with that kind of, that play is like, more on Colts defense than Dalvin Cook. It takes more than like I've got two kittens over there in the living room right now. Those two could have tackled Dalvin Cook better than those pathetic Colts defensive players right now. So on that screen pass, it was ridiculous. It's the worst is that any other team could have got this comeback and I wouldn't have cared that much. It's the fact it's those Vikings.
Oh, sorry. Let me just say it. The champagne corks have been popped.
Oh, wow. It's amazing. You almost choked it. Unbelievable.
Doesn't matter. All that matters is what you accomplish in life, not how it's done.
That's true. It is true. Exactly. Ugly dubs are better than pretty L's. So,
Exactly. And what I'll do is I'll record it for you and I'll send you a video of postseason football. I did put a tenner on the Packers to get there.
There you go. Exactly.
And it's all about the AFC South anyway.
Oh, the Jags are winning that, by the way. 100%.
Don't say anything.
We look at the numbers here. Kirk Cousins, 34 for 54, 460 yards, 4 touchdowns, 2 picks. What can you say, really? He's throwing the ball too much for me, but it's what had to be done.
If Aaron Rodgers did that, you wouldn't care because it's elite Kirk.
I'm just talking from a game plan perspective. Is you don't want to really go into the game, thinking you're going to have to throw the ball 50 times to win like this.
Nah, well, okay, I'll give you that. But when you're so many points down, you've got to throw in it.
Exactly. I mean, to be fair, they could have stuck with the run because the Colts were just pathetic, absolutely pathetic. One of the worst things I've ever seen. But it's one of those things that it's like it's a great advert for the league and a great advert for I got into a scuffle online, as I always do, with people that that there's this graphic which always goes round about the time of a World Cup final where 100 or what is it, 4 billion people or something watch the World Cup final. It's almost as if there's a difference between a world sport and a national sport. Do you think Americans care about the cricket World Cup? No, don't give me that. I mean, I don't care about the cricket World Cup, but I'm just saying it's the same kind of logic here. The name world is in its name, but that's for another podcast regardless. But you look at this game, right, and you think, what an advert, how exciting is that for the NFL? And then I'm hearing people
watched it.
Exactly, there you go.
And you know how much she loves Kirk Cousins.
Oh yes. But when you look at this World Cup, which is supposed to have been the best World Cup ever, and it's had 7 0-0 draws. And like people say, oh, 0-0 draws can be no draws cannot be exciting. I'm sorry.
Oh no, some can be.
Nah, not interested. You just think, maybe it's exciting. Oh, it's getting close towards this, last 10 minutes, but it is 0-0, and there's just a feeling of, well, what was all that for? I've just wasted.
Well, you want 0-0 with Ronaldo scoring so you can see his body.
That's my goat.
And you got McTominay.
Okay, shut up.
Right, let's go. Browns, Ravens. Oh, still.
I thought you'd want to, continue your meat riding for Kirk.
No, because I want to talk about the next game.
Okay, just quickly here. Colts 6 for 19 on third down. Vikings 5 for 15. So, I put a lot of stock into that stat, saying it's like, it should be, these teams should be doing better than they are. Converting on third down is hard, especially if it's, unless it's against the Packers defense. Third and long, hard to get really, that close to, because you need to throw it. Defense knows you throw it. Everybody in the stadium probably knows you're going to throw it. So it's just a metric that kind of gives you a sample of what the team on offense looked like. You can say if they went 7 for 10 on third down, for example, they probably balled out that game.
Mm.
And likewise, if they went 1 for 2 on third down, they definitely balled out. So it's both ends of the spectrum.
Yes.
Unless they threw a lot of picks. So,
yeah, the Vikings are a side that's right. I'm going to be honest because I put it on the Vikings fan page.
Mm-hmm.
Kirk owns the North. That's it. Kirk owns the North.
He's borrowing it for 1 year from, well, I'd say Aaron Rodgers, but I mean, he's probably not going to be in Green Bay next year.
Kirk
but he's borrowing it for a
North.
year. He's borrowing it for a year. Let's just leave it at that.
Okay.
All right, let's get on to Browns Ravens. And I know you said you wanted to pick the Ravens. The Browns, but your missus wouldn't let you.
No, do you know what it is? We was on the train doing my picks, and she had it. I had it on my phone, the games, and she was typing it. And I went, Ravens and Browns. She went, Ravens, because you're not picking the Browns, not with that man. And I'm not even going to call him a man playing for that other team.
Yeah, less than a human being.
So that's why I'm really annoyed.
Yeah. I picked the Browns to win this game. I kind of envisioned it would be something like this. I didn't think it would be particularly comfortable. I don't think they'd be impressive by any stretch. But I just, I put a lot of stock into Tyler Huntley, saying, when you look at him down the stretch and how he played last year when Lamar was injured, but you put a lot of stock into that. You think, he could be the best backup in the league. He could start for some teams in a pinch. But it's just not been the case. Very, very poor.
And Justin Tucker missed kicks.
Yes, I mean, how often does that happen?
When he is human.
Yeah. Deshaun Watson, 18 for 28, 161 yards and a touchdown. So not bad, but just when your offense only scores 13 points, it's not an investment that. It's not a showing that justifies the investment of the sacrifice they've made for the optics, for the fans, and also the financial side of it.
Yes, but I really don't want to talk about this guy because he shouldn't be in the league. But
yeah, no, for sure. We're definitely both in agreement about that. So we'll leave it at that. I think Nick Chubb, managers on fantasy, will be disappointed. 1 yard shy of 100 yards. I don't know how many leagues are set up with a bonus of points if the player gets to 100 yards, but he didn't. Very unfortunate. But J.K. Dobbins had a good game again. 13 carries, 125 yards, and you kind of think he's just not right. He's still a bit. I think he's a bit sore, which is a shame because he's quite an electric running back. You'd think that he if he's healthy, he's probably one of the top 10 in the league.
Yeah.
We look at third down. Both teams converted 5. Ravens on 12 attempts, Browns on 15 yards. I mean, the Ravens outgained the Browns. Turned the ball over twice, though. That's the problem. They had the ball. Ravens had the ball for 26 minutes and only 17 first downs. So, all in all, close match. I think it's two teams that struggling to find an identity. To an extent, I think that the Ravens know they need to run the ball. They did have 198 yards on 28 attempts, which isn't bad. Kind of ran the ball on the Browns, and there's a good Browns defense, to be fair, against the run. So
yes.
But yeah, I don't have much else to say about this one. Kind of a barn burner, really.
Yes, it just held a place for the big game.
Yes. All right, then. We shall move on to another incredible game on the weekend. On the Saturday, this time it was the Miami Dolphins 29, the Buffalo Bills 32. And I think that kind of just puts, I think it pretty much is now. The Dolphins are out of luck for the AFC East title, and Bills are, one game away for hat and t-shirts.
Tua got exposed.
Mm-hmm.
And I am not giving anybody a pass on, it was snowing. Well, it didn't snow until 6 minutes before the end. So you're not getting a pass on that.
The team, they were saying the Bills would have been punished with 15 yards if the fans didn't stop throwing snowballs onto the field.
I know. I'm sorry. That's just ridiculous.
It's comical.
You dodge big 300-pound linemen, and you can't dodge a snowball.
What was I just going to say there? I don't think that. I don't think Tua would have given the team an excuse. He did say before the game, it snows in Alabama, which I mean, I would assume it's true.
How badly does it snow in Alabama?
Exactly. Yeah, I was going to say. I mean, I assume it's true, but we're not talking like 6 inches.
Get Sean Batty out. Let's have a look.
I like the reference. Two, I don't think was too bad. Probably his best game in the last three. 17 for 30, 234 yards, 2 touchdowns. I just think that did they have Tyrone Armstead back in this game? I can't remember.
Yes, he did at left tackle.
So the Bills obviously wounded on defense. And I know a lot of that's down to Von Miller not being there. Micah Hyde, obviously, 2 of the best defensive players in the league for sure. But didn't stop Josh Allen. He had a day, 25 for 40, 304 yards, 4 touchdowns. He also led the team in rushing again, 10 carries, 77 yards. And it's the reason, I said, I think it was in last week's episode, I said that Josh Allen is the most overrated player in the league. And I stand by that, but it's not to say that, like, he's bad by any means. When you say, players are overrated, like you say Joe Burrow is overrated, or you did. You said Joe Burrow is overrated, for example. I think, like, when you say that, you mean that a lot of it is due to the team around him. Now, I would say similar to Josh Allen. But I just think he turns the ball over too much. We didn't in this game. They did have a fumble, but I don't know who it was by. But to me, it's almost like he plays a little bit too much hero ball, and it worked in this game for the most part. But again, being the rushing leader as a quarterback, and I get that Devin Singletary sucks and James Cook is still figuring things out to an extent. And the offensive line is a bit of a weakness, to be fair, for the Bills. We did say that, going into the season, we said that I think that would have been the problem. But yeah, no, I think that Josh Allen's the reason the Bills won't win the Super Bowl because of the hero ball aspects. And I think it's hard to say which defense could give him trouble. Maybe other than the Jets defense, really. And they're going to make the playoffs. So
I'm looking at it, right. The Chiefs the Chiefs defense comes alive in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That Bengals team could outscore them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it will be good. But as long as we've good playoff games, I don't want to be sitting watching, 12-9.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thankfully the Broncos won't be anywhere near the playoffs. So
yeah.
The Bills were 8 for 14 on third down, which that says a lot. Dolphins only 5 for 14. Pretty close game all in all, to be fair, and obviously that was shown by the final score. Josh Allen leading the game-winning drive for the touchdown right at the end. The Bills only had 41 yards more than the Dolphins. The time of possession was very, very close. 30 minutes and 7 seconds for the Dolphins. 29 minutes 53 seconds for the Bills. So it's as close as you can really get for an NFL game. The Bills had more first downs and just kind of really figured things out quicker to an extent. I think they got off to a more of a blazing start. It was 21-13 at halftime. So
it was a good game. I watched every snap.
I was in bed because I had work the next morning. But
Sleeps
regardless, well, I was feeling pretty ropey, pretty raw as well. So
I've had 5 hours of sleep since last night.
Nice. All right.
I missed Road Wars at 4 because of it.
That's what you want, though. That's what you want. You want to watch exciting. You want to watch the Packers. You want to watch the greatest quarterback of all time, Aaron Rodgers.
Or Daniel Jones on Sunday. Anyway, let's move on.
Let's get in here. Kind of a wobbly win for the best team in the league, the Philadelphia Eagles, 25-20 against the Chicago Bears. Jalen Hurts wasn't great in this game, to be totally honest. 22 for 37, 315 yards, turned it 2 picks. That's a problem against this Bears defense, which isn't, we know it sucks.
Do you know, I watched that game, and this is where I feel, as an Eagles fan, I would be worried. Because Justin Fields, I'm going to be honest with you, right? If I got first pick in a fantasy league next year, Justin Fields.
Quarterback. Early.
Yes. First pick. The reason for it is the amount of running he does.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he can get into the end zone twice, at least, rushing.
Yep.
And I think, as a Bears fan, I wouldn't be too worried. Because all you've got to do is go and draft offensive linemen and get a wide receiver in the draft. Chicago Bears are 3 players away from winning the Super Bowl.
You think?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
A.J. Brown. You know, I'm trying to think. Derrick Henry running back would be elite, you know. Great, get him in there. And Jamar Chase on the other side.
Oh, yeah, you know, you could add those 3 to any team, really, and then they'd be, you know, candidates for the Super Bowl.
You know, that's what my analogy I had after the Champions League. I said Celtic are 3 players away from winning it. Mbappe, Messi, and Holland. You know,
it's not wrong, you know.
I didn't say it was realistic. I just said there were 3 players away. But no, I thought the Eagles are starting to show signs of frailty, and if Jalen Hurts' injury is bad, then I'll need to just put my razor away to grow my moustache for Gardner Minshew.
Well, Tom Pelissero said that Jalen Hurts' injury doesn't seem to be as serious as first thought. He just needs to rest, so he's probably going to miss this week. If it was a playoff game, he probably could figure out some way to play. You know, I said he wasn't great in this game, but that was just throwing the ball. He was good running it, 17 carries, 61 yards, 3 scores. That's what you need. On the other side, Justin Fields, 15 carries for 95 yards. Both quarterbacks led the teams in passing and rushing. So, you know, that I say it's a worry when it comes to the Bills, but I don't know. I feel like Jalen Hurts is an anomaly in that case because he doesn't turn the ball over. You know that. You know he almost doubled. You know he almost doubled the number of interceptions he had on the year in this game, right? And I know that sounds crazy when you talk about it, but you know he only has 5 by week. What is it? 15?
Yeah, I know. So, he is good. I do like Jalen Hurts. He's. I mean, I'm on his elite train, and I was on it from about week 4. You know, but he's the second best in the NFC East.
Every time, God's sake.
Yes, all our listeners and viewers, they know who I think's number 1 in the NFC.
Taylor Heineke.
Oh yeah, potentially. Yeah. He could even win a prime time game. We'll get on to that.
AJ Brown had a good game, 9 catches, 181 yards. That's huge. You know, fantasy playoff time coming up clutch for that. I don't think he did in our league though. It was my obviously lovely fiance Kerry did lose in the playoffs with AJ Brown on her team. Eagles 9 for 16 on 3rd down. Bears 5 for 13. You know,
you're through in the fantasy.
Yes, I am. I did win. Yes.
Yes, I just wanted to make the playoffs. That was it.
Well, you did win our Rookie of the Year award, so you get you get a nice hat. So you let me know which hat you want. You have this and Jags if you like.
Can I get? What a minute! You said any hat. Vikings.
No.
Exactly.
No, you can have a Vikings hat if you want.
I'm going to wait because if the Jags win the division, I'm going to get the AFC South gear for it.
That's the way to do it.
And then we'll decide anyway.
I think you know, you look at this game, the scoreline a little bit wobbly, all that kind of stuff. I don't know how much stock you want to put in it, but the Eagles did have 150 yards plus more. They just turned the ball over 3 times. They did have more first downs. Time of possession equal again. It's almost exactly the same as it was in the last game. In fact, it is exactly the same. 29 minutes 53, 30 minutes and 7. Just for Eagles and Bears respectively. So yeah, so I don't know if you want to put a lot of stock into this game, because when you see a team like the Chiefs, who've been in 2 close games back to back now, do you worry about the Chiefs? No. So I don't know
No,
if
I
you
don't
can
worry
worry.
about.
I don't know if you can worry about the Eagles right now. I think we need to wait and see. We need to see how if Jalen Hurts can come back at full strength with the shoulder. It's obviously his thrown shoulder, so there's caution, But I think
You see, the thing that worries me is is if Commanders get in the 7th spot.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, forget the Commanders. If the Packers get in the 7th spot, I would fancy the Packers going to Philadelphia.
Yep.
Only because Aaron Rodgers' record in playoffs and Jalen Hurts' record in playoffs.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's the only reason. But we'll see how it goes. By the way, 8-1 Packers to make the playoffs.
I like it.
I've done it. I tendered on it.
Yeah. Right. We have time for one more game.
Yeah.
We will hit the New Orleans Saints winning a divisional matchup against the Atlanta Falcons, moving off the basement of the division with a 21-18 win. A little bit of a sketchy one. This Andy Dalton, 11 for 17, 151 yards, but efficient, 2 touchdowns. Alvin Kamara, 21 carries, 91 yards. So, not a bad showing by the Saints. Defense, stood strong, and
that NFC South is mental.
It's a tire fire.
It's the only division that I'm looking at. Now, obviously, all the NFC East is going to be potentially in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
And then you've got, it's like divisional leaders, Bucks, and then in the hunt, and it's the other 3 teams.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
How can a team on 5 wins be in the hunt for the playoff?
I know. It's at this stage, a team with 5 wins is most likely going to have a losing record, even if they win out. So it's disgusting, isn't it? I feel like a team, if they have a losing record, shouldn't be in the playoffs.
If Tampa Bay win the Super Bowl, I can't watch the NFL for that. You cannot have a regular season and win the Super Bowl.
I know. That's the thing is, it's like, you only have to get hot when it matters most, and that is in the playoffs.
That is true.
Desmond Ridder, this was his first start. I don't think he
struggled.
Yeah, he wasn't particularly impressive. 13 for 26, 97 yards. Didn't turn the ball over, which is good. Taylor Algier kind of handled most of it. He had 17 carries, 139 yards, and a touchdown. So, nice win nice effort by him. That was his best. That's his career high on his obviously young career. But I think it all just came down. The Saints had you got off to a more explosive start, and that's what got them the win.
Yep. And that's it. And I'm worried about the NFC South. In fact, I'm worried about the 2 Souths, the AFC and the NFC.
Yeah.
I mean, it used to be the NFC East was a laughing stock, and the AFC East was. It used to be the AFC East was the Patriots and the rest.
Yeah.
Also the West was the Chiefs, the rest.
Mm.
The North. To be honest, the North was the only really competitive division.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now that's basically Cincinnati and the rest.
Yeah.
I mean, the NFC is arguably, if you're going to be honest with it, whoever the AFC representative is, just give them the rings just now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think the Eagles can get there. I think if the
Eagles
Cowboys can out-cowboy themselves, they could get there, win it.
The only team is the only thing is the only 2 teams in the NFC that I would give any clutch to is the Eagles and the Chiefs, the Eagles and the 49ers. That's it.
Mm-hmm. I'd throw the Cowboys in there, but I'd agree with you.
Nope, the Cowboys will find a way to screw it up.
Yeah, that's the only thing. But if they can get there, I think
to them, please.
They're a bit further down the line, but we will get there. Falcons were okay on 3rd down in this game, 9 for 16. Saints just 5 for 11. Yards very similar, 320 to the Falcons, 348 to the Saints. Both teams turned the ball over once. Time of possession very equal again. Falcons had more first downs, but in the end, the only one that matters is the 21-18 in favor of the Saints. So, nice win by them. But I mean, the sooner these 2 teams are out of the picture, the better, I think.
Can one of the other three sides in the NFC South win it, or do you think it's the Bucks now?
That's hard to say, just with the way the Bucks are playing. I think if Carolina hadn't lost to the Steelers, I would say that they could have a real shot at it, but I don't know at this point.
Okay, no, that's fine. It's just
That's it. All right, we'll take a short break, and we're back. We'll hit the rest of these games. Don't know where I was going. I was going to start with a word that began with F. So I don't know.
We're going to finish.
That's a bit sus.
Exactly.
What
are you doing? Your spare time's your own business.
I ate this from the jar by a spoon.
Oh,
pretty good.
Right, okay, well, let's go for it anyway.
That and some peanut butter in a sandwich. That's what you want. All right, then. We are back, and we have the Lions giving me a lock, tying it up with Chris at the top of the leaderboard with a win 20-17 over the New York Jets. And the Lions are now 6-1 over their past 7 games. So this is a huge turnaround for them.
It's crazy. The Lions, though, they're everybody's favourite team. No, I mean, it's really weird. They're the sort of team that, and I don't even think it's because they're amazing. I think it's the coach.
Yeah. There's a real team. What's the word? I seen it the other day, but
team ethic.
Yeah, team ethic, locker room aura is a real thing and really contributes to how well teams play together. I know that sounds obvious, but it's a testament to the Lions are playing so well right now. If you've got a solid locker room, they're all mates, that kind of thing, then you'll probably string together a few wins. But the way that this Lions team is going is, I don't think anybody is surprised if they snuck into the playoffs.
Are they? Have you got them going to the playoffs?
I'm not sure. I need to think about it. Come on,
get off that fence. Yes or no?
I'm gonna say yeah. I'd like them to make the playoffs. I'd like to. See, this is the thing, and it's just to what you were saying about this, Lions being everyone's favorite teams, is I could never ever root for the Vikings or the Bears, but I found myself rooting for the Lions several times this year. Moon the Lions, let's do it.
Why can't you root for the Vikings?
Come on now. I'll root for Justin Jefferson and TJ Hawkinson while they're on my fantasy team, but
they have an elite quarterback.
Well, we'll agree to disagree. How about that? Obviously, Zach Wilson got starting this one ahead of Mike White, who is dealing with 3 fractured ribs, and it's been confirmed just as we were on our break that Zach Wilson will start again this week. So lock up the Jags. He went 18 for 35, 317 yards, 2 touchdowns and a pick in this one. So not horrible, but at the end of the day, couldn't get the job done.
Exactly.
And that says
a lot. Got the win, and I think they're now 7-7.
Yes, they are. Both teams are 7-7 now.
They're only a half game out from the playoffs. But I said the Packers would sneak in the back door, and they've got to win out. And I think the Packers still got to play Detroit.
Yes, but it's at Lambeau in the last week of the season.
That's good. See, this is the thing. All these games have got so many permutations that NBC could pick them.
Yeah. I mean, that would be crazy, wouldn't it? What would essentially be, Lions would be 9-7, Packers 8-8 at that point. Those are the 2 teams that would end up on Sunday Night Football for the Lions. It'd be crazy. But
who would you back in that game?
I don't know. That's the thing. If the Packers got that far, it's clearly going to be the case that draft position isn't going to be high at that point. So I'd prefer we got it in, because what's the difference between picking 17th and 22nd? I don't know.
Not really, because you move up and pick a quarterback that you don't play.
Exactly. So I think in that case, I'd want us to win, but I wouldn't be upset if it meant the Lions got into the playoffs, and it is what it is.
They'll be one and done anyway.
Yeah. Would they be going to the Vikings potentially? So,
yes.
Who knows?
No. I think the Vikings will be playing the Giants.
Oh, yeah?
Yep.
Okay, all right.
It'll be 49ers Packers.
Mm-hmm.
Then it'll be Vikings Giants.
Mm-hmm. Buccaneers Cowboys.
Bucks Cowboys. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right then. Into this game, Jared Goff, kind of a step down, not too horrible. Still did the job for me on fantasy. I'm really, I'm so nervous. I'm just waiting for him to crumble and me crash out the playoffs.
I'm
23.
I'm confused. My quarterback got 40 odd points this week.
It's true. It's true. That's the thing.
Although I won't be in next year.
Oh, why's that?
I don't like this. I don't like the picking system.
Well, maybe go back to a draft system.
We'll see. I like a draft system. That because then everyone's got a team that is full of stars.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I can pick Daniel Jones 1.
You go right ahead, brother. Yeah, Jared Goff, 23 for 38, 252 yards and a touchdown. So a bit of a step down from him, but still pretty solid. And resultantly did the job. This annoying me about Jamal Williams isn't getting any carries or isn't getting enough. I traded for him on fantasy. He'd been ripping it up, did for me for a couple of weeks, and has now just been, passenger.
Exactly.
But it is what it is, really.
Who's your running back on fantasy?
I have Jamal Williams. I have Kenneth Walker, but I didn't start him this week.
Because now that I'm out, Travis Etienne.
Well, you still got him, so you'd need to release him.
I'll give you him.
Oh no, that's collusion. We can't do that. And he's been trending low as well a little bit. Anyway, yeah.
Yeah,
all right. This isn't fantasy talk. This is Lions Jets. What did you make of this game?
No, but it was a strange game to watch. The Jets' defense is elite.
Mm-hmm.
It just when the time came, they couldn't do the hold properly.
Yeah, I think that I wouldn't like to say that Zach Wilson really lost in this game. That was the only turnover of the game was his interception. But you need to be scoring more than 17 points, really.
No, definitely.
Against, I know this Lions defense has been a lot better recently, but 17 points. I get that, there's things out of your control, but 7 for 14 and third down for the Jets ain't too bad, I suppose. 50%, not horrible.
Yeah,
but ultimately couldn't get the job done. Yards pretty even. Lions had the ball for 5 minutes longer. Jets had more first downs, but they get nothing much in this Lions win. Lions gave me my lock. I know it's all very tight at the top there.
Yes, as I say, the last couple of times when I've picked a lock, though, the first week it was only because I had that cushion.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd have thought the Cowboys surely.
You'd think, but I mean, you're not going to be too mad if the Jags make the playoffs because of this
no,
logic.
Definitely not.
Are you going to lock the Jets up on Thursday Night Football?
The Jets?
Yeah, against the Jags, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, but because it's Zach Wilson starting. No. I sent you my lock last night.
Did you? Who was it?
Tennessee are only 6.5 point favourites over the Texans.
Yeah, but there might be no Ryan Tannehill, so.
Ah, well. We'll see how it goes.
Yes. Right, we'll move on. We have the Steelers getting a nice win against the Carolina Panthers, 24-16. That all but pretty much ends the Panthers' hopes of getting into the postseason. Mitch Trubisky, 17 for 22, 179 yards, no touchdowns, no picks. Sam Darnold, 14 for 23, 225 yards, and a touchdown. Najee Harris was the real star in this one, I think. 24 carries, 86 yards, and a touchdown. And yeah, just really did the most.
Right, I need to ask this question because it's now starting to bug me. Mm-hmm. It's the only stat in the NFL I get confused on.
Mm-hmm.
How do you get half a sack?
It's if two players sack the ball at the same time. You credited with half a sack.
One. You either have a full one or you don't have one at all.
Yeah.
It's going to happen, by the way. The Steelers are going to get a plus 500 record.
Who have they got to finish the season? Let's have a look here. They've got the Raiders next week, the Ravens, and then the Browns. So, do you know? totally in. They could be. They could do it.
The only one there where I would fear is obviously the Raiders.
But I mean,
maybe they might do a Patriots.
It depends what type of Raiders turn up, really.
Yeah, but it will be good to watch. But no, I mean the Steelers are improving for me, and it's really strange because a lot of teams at this point in the season are now just playing for draft position.
Yeah,
they're still playing quite hard.
Yeah. And I think their defense has a lot to be said about there. I think that they limited to Carolina to just 12 first downs all game, 209 yards. Was the total there. So they completely shut down Carolina's run game. Chuba Hubbard only had 4 carries for 10 yards. I get they were down big, but it's a lot. The Steelers were superb, really. I think this scoreline kind of flattered Carolina a little bit. 12 for 16 on third down. You'd like to say that, having 16 third downs means poor efficiency on first and second down, but, it doesn't matter. When you convert 75% of your third downs, that's brilliant.
I actually don't think that, because if you, say you run up and you go, 9 yards, so you're second and 1, you're going to throw on second down because you're going to come back on third and get that yard. Unless the Packers.
Yeah.
and Matt LaFleur decides to throw it, but that's a different day. You see what I mean? So no, it was really good, and I do like the Steelers, and it would be nice for them to get the over 500 record.
I think it would be very, very crazy. I don't think 9-8 gets them into the playoffs at this point.
Oh no, it doesn't. It doesn't. But
no. But I mean,
I'm going to say something though. Would you take TJ Watt in your team?
No, without a question. 100%.
Here's a question. Could you imagine him going to Arizona?
I mean, I don't... be crazy.
TJ on one side and JJ on the other.
Yeah, for the 6 games JJ plays every year.
Yeah.
No. This I think this game, definitely the scoreline definitely complimented Carolina. I think that the Steelers were pretty superb. All things, at the end of the day, defensively limited to Carolina to just 7 points through the first 3 quarters and 9 points in garbage time, really.
Bring on the North next year.
Well, it could be the case. Another year for Kenny Pickett. They just need to go through Elite Joe.
I just think, that would be a fantastic division to watch. Elite Joe Burrow. Deshaun Watson will have a year. Well, we'll have an off-season, etc. Don't know who the Ravens will have. Just say Lamar gets paid, and then Kenny Pickett. That would be a fantastic division.
Oh, for sure, definitely. It's similar to it's not on AFC West style of quarterbacks, but you get up, in terms of like teams, it's very similar to the NFC West.
Yes, I mean, as I said though, Elite Joe, I did say it. It took me 15 weeks.
All right, well, we'll move on to your guys in Jacksonville beating the Cowboys 48-34 in overtime. What a crazy game. This is the first weekend.
Can I say it?
Go for it. Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
To quote the guy last night on the All-State halftime show, how about them Jaguars?
Yeah, I like it. It's the first weekend in NFL history, I think, where 3 teams came back from a 17-point deficit.
It was crazy. See, obviously when it was like 21-7 at one point. I was sitting there going, this is going to go all wrong. But my plumber, because I had my plumber out the other day, and I said to him, he's a Jags fan, and I said, this is going to be, he said to me, this is going to be the most Jaguars thing ever. They're going to beat the Cowboys and lose to the Jets and Texans. But no, it was a great game. Trevor Lawrence, as I said, and it's something that I like to say, I said on episode 4 when I first appeared that get an offensive coach who will coach the kid. He's brilliant, isn't he? I mean, he won a Super Bowl with Nick Foles.
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, Trevor Lawrence
is... the Jags will win the Super Bowl, and we finally found super glue for Zay Jones's hands.
Yeah, he was excellent. Six catches, 109 yards, 3 touchdowns. So, you know, with the way Trevor Lawrence has been playing, you know, especially in this game, it's 27-42, 318 yards, 4 touchdowns. Is he right on the outside of the MVP race? Would you put him in your top 5? No?
No, it'd be top 5. But
I think he'd be top 5.
He wouldn't win the award.
No, I don't think so, but I think he'd be on the outside.
The player that will win the MVP award is going to be Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
He will win it. He shouldn't win it. But that's an argument for a different day. But Trevor Lawrence is doing what a number 1 pick should be doing. And this is the thing. Baker Mayfield was a number 1 pick and should never have been it. Kyler Murray was a number 1 pick and is struggling to play, 17 games a season.
Yeah. He's never played. Right? He's never played a full season.
Andrew Luck was a number 1 pick and was okay for the first 3 years. And then when he was left with nobody, struggled.
Yeah.
Trevor Lawrence is actually making right decisions based on Doug Peterson's scheme, throwing to guys who can catch the thing, got a great running game in Travis Etienne and Jermichael Hasty when he comes on just for those couple of carries he does. But I don't want to talk about them. What about the interception?
Yeah. It was at Rashawn Jenkins with the pick 6 to win the game. Right, as superb.
Defense. I know nothing. I mean, everyone says that to me. How do you do a podcast on NFL? You don't do defense? Because I don't care. If you score more points than our team, you're going to win.
There you go. It's a simple game, really.
I've got the Steelers offensive coordinator job lined up.
Yeah.
No, but it was brilliant. And you know what? How about them Jaguars?
Oh, yeah.
Cowboys, really? Come on, you Eagles, on Saturday.
I think that this game, I think, I don't think I wouldn't worry as a Cowboys fan without a doubt. I think
I wouldn't worry either.
I think they're clearly obviously still going to make the playoffs. I have them to win this weekend. Dak went 23 for 30, 256 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 picks. So not the greatest performance from him. I think that I don't think the Cowboys will win a Super Bowl with him at quarterback.
No, definitely not. I don't think the Cowboys are a Super Bowl team. They have a Super Bowl roster.
Yeah, the defense is obviously superb.
So does Green Bay. And that's not a dig at Green Bay. You have a Super Bowl roster, but can't put it all as a team.
Yeah.
Right? If you look around the league, who else are we talking about? Let's have a look at other teams, right? It's like Arizona's got a Super Bowl roster.
Defense.
If everybody was healthy.
Yeah.
That's a Super Bowl roster. It's just, but Tampa Bay have got a Super Bowl roster.
Yeah.
But no, it was a great win for the Jaguars and part 1 of the prophecies done.
Yes, that's it. This is the game we thought they could lose this one. And sure enough, the last 3 games of the season for them, Jets, Texans, Titans, all, if they win on Thursday night, I'm in. I'm 100% in. I'm in right now. Have me in for the Jags playoff party.
Well,
they will win this division. I really think so.
I know we've got other games to move on to, but we can just run it into one, just because obviously of the permutations. The Chargers winning 17-14.
It's getting tight for the Titans. They're only a game up on the Jags now.
Exactly.
I think that's that week 18 game between the two is the one that goes to Sunday Night Football.
Well, we'll see. But because I think if the Titans maybe... You see, this is really weird because the Texans are tanking. I know they've still got to play the Texans. Right? The Titans obviously play the Texans this weekend. And I know the Texans are tanking. But they could beat them. Now, I really do not want... This sounds really bad. I would love that as a Sunday night game.
The
Titans, Jag.
Yeah, that'd be great.
But if the Texans lose the next 3 and the Jags win, well, obviously they lost there, If in the next two, then the Jags would be leading, and it wouldn't be the Sunday night game.
Yeah.
But no, it's been really good, and you know what? Let's go for it. Jags, Super Bowl bound.
You only need to be in the dance. Who said, Doug Peterson's got that experience,
Yeah,
I think that
Trevor Lawrence is better than Nick Foles.
Yeah. I think that the future for the Jags is so bright. We did that 5-year outlook for the 10 bad teams before the season. And the Jags, I can't remember where I picked the Jags, but I think that
I think
now
they were number 5.
Something like that. I think they realistically now they probably have the best future because you get Calvin Ridley back next year. The defense, I think teams.
Who would have bet on it? Calvin Ridley back. Who would have bet on it?
I know. Oh, jeez. But yeah, no, I think honestly, Jags win this division next year.
Oh yeah,
I like it.
Could win it
a lot. Yeah, no, for sure. If not this year, next year for 100%.
Number 7 seed in the AFC. Chargers.
I think the Chargers would be the 6th seed right now. I think it's the Dolphins. Miami, yeah. All right, then. We will move on to the only team that has a win. The team that is wait, how do I word this? The team with one win that was against the Jags. There we go. That'll do. Coming up with a close overtime defeat to the Kansas City Chiefs. We alluded to it earlier in the show about whether you put in a lot of stock to, the Eagles being a little bit shaky against poor eliminated opposition. But the Chiefs have now done this in back-to-back weeks where they've not been at their top of the game. Patrick Mahomes obviously was immense. He was 36 for 41, 336 yards and 2 touchdowns, which to me says that this is a lot to be on the defense, a lot more to be said than you'd like. Isaiah Pacheco was the leading rusher, but the real star in this game was Jerick McKinnon. He was unbelievable.
The Texans can't even tank properly.
I know.
This is really weird because obviously we had a Texans fan on during the off-season and I've been talking to him the last couple of weeks. And I'm like that. Everybody in the world knows you want the number 1 pick. Just lose.
Mm-hmm.
And they're actually trying to win.
Well, you see, the thing is, I think they've got like, I'm sure they've got 2 games in over for the number 1 pick right now because the Broncos are holding the number 2 pick, although they don't actually have. It's the Seahawks right now. So
yeah, this is why when we get to draft time, I've got a theory.
Yeah.
But no, a lot of teams now are just playing for draft position. Texans will have the 1 pick.
Yep.
And do you know what? Don't take Bryce Young or CJ Stroud. Don't ruin the kids. I don't mean that in a bad way, don't ruin them. I want these guys to succeed. I want guys coming out of college to succeed. Yeah, they're going to take Bryce Young or CJ Stroud. Of course they are. Don't ruin them.
Yeah.
Get them protection. Get them receivers. Give them a chance to succeed. Because that AFC South, it's really a poor division.
Yeah.
Colts, who knows where they'll be next year? Sam Ehlinger, probably.
Yeah.
My God, that's going to be a weird division, isn't it? Sam Ehlinger, Trevor Lawrence, Malik Willis,
and Bryce Young.
Somebody pointed out, though, the NFC West this week, the best division in football, apparently, had Geno Smith, Colt McCoy, Brock Purdy, and Baker Mayfield.
I mean, yeah, do you know when you look at the start of the season and what Geno Smith, Trey Lance, Kyler Murray, and Matthew Stafford, it's such a fall.
Honestly, that's that game top trumps.
Yeah.
But no, it was good. And great for the Chiefs to get that win. They had to get that win, and they're just trying now to keep pace with Buffalo and roll on. Is it 2 weeks' time? Monday night, Buffalo, Cincinnati.
In fact, is that not this week? Is that not this week? Week 17. Yeah, that's fantasy football playoffs. The big crunch time one.
Yeah, but no, it was I'm looking forward to that game, and all Chiefs fans will be backing the Bengals there because obviously that's the only way for them to get the number 1 seed because you don't want to be going to Buffalo.
And the thing is as well, I don't even know if the Chiefs fans could root for the Bengals there, because if things are going well for the Bills, the Bengals right now, they could be right in for the number 1 seed.
I know. I know it's really strange, but it doesn't matter where it goes. Come the playoffs, teams shine.
For sure. Travis Kelce, 10 catches, 105 yards, standard from him. The Chiefs had nearly 300 yards more than the Titans. So for the Texans to take this to overtime, really, really impressive. Really, playing the Chiefs hard. And the Chiefs had to work for this, and that tells you a lot. It's a gritty win. The Titans have been, really in the last 2 games, obviously playing the Cowboys hard last week, playing the Chiefs hard this week. So, they're well coached. They're more than the sum of their parts. And, I think that Lovie Smith could, deserve us another year to just figure things out over there.
This is why I'm looking forward. Emily, let's get you. Let's go to Grand Campus. This is why I cannot wait for our off-season show that I suggested.
Yeah.
Only 2 from each team.
There's a small hint for our viewers right there.
Yeah. That'll be a good show though to do because you have to include the Texans.
It's
gonna be weird. But one of their positions is taken care of anyway.
Running back? All right. Good win for the Chiefs. Much needed, and they keep pace for the number 1 seed. We will take a break, and we're back. We'll hit the rest of these games alongside the primetime games. All right, then. We are back, and we will now talk about the barn burner ham and egger of the week, which was Brett Rippon's Denver Broncos against Colt McCoy and Trace McSorley's Arizona Cardinals in a bad game. 24-15 Broncos. But yes, a shit game. Yeah, that's pretty much the best way to put it. Brett Rippon, wasn't bad. 21 for 26, 187 yards, touchdown and a pick.
It's crazy. It's like you're looking at things like that and you just see Brett Rippon and Colt McCoy. I mean, I would switch over and watch Strictly, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, but it was a weird game. Very weird. But no, I quite, as I say, I enjoy my Sunday nights because my missus got me Game Pass for my Christmas.
Oh, that was good of her.
She wanted to find something to buy me, and I got an offer 99 pence.
Really?
Yeah, I get all the Christmas games for 99 pence.
Oh, that's all right, isn't it?
She bought me that. Shows him. I mean, I spent 65 quid in a jacket, and I get 99 pence.
I mean, to be fair, I think that's all you're worth, to be honest.
Well, I'll send you the picture later. But no, it was, enjoyed it, and Denver, that's a lost season for them now. They have to go next season. They've got the number. They don't even have the second pick. I was about to say they don't even have that. What do they even have picks wise? Did they even have a first rounder?
I have no idea at this point. I mean, talk about losing a trade.
I know.
I mean, I don't think there's ever been a trade where the winner, where it was kind of tossing up, like who won the trade, where it's ever been decided so quickly within like the first months, couple of months after the trade's gone down. Denver Broncos defense was really good in this one, limited Arizona to just 240 yards. They held the ball away from the Cardinals. The Cardinals only had 13 first downs and 3 turnovers. So,
I think Arizona's now just playing for draft position.
Yeah, and it's another one of those things. It's like Arizona will probably bring in a new coach next year. They can have a pretty optimistic look for next year, and we'll get some fans on in the offseason, see what they think with a new coach coming in, Kyler Murray. Depending on how the rehab goes, because of this ACL injury is so close to the end of the season, it's difficult to say whether he will be back for the start of next season. or whether he's even in Arizona for one thing. I think,
Did I not say trade him to Denver?
I think you said, was it not? Yeah, you said, yeah, did say Denver, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because it's like, I wouldn't trade, it's like trading him to the Packers for Aaron Rodgers. I would not trade him in conference.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I definitely wouldn't trade him in division either.
Mm-hmm. You'd hope not.
But then again, so that's why get him to the other conference.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Why can we trade him with Kansas and get Patrick Mahomes?
Aye. Yeah, sure. You'd love to be on the hook for that cap hit.
Talk about losing the trade.
Yeah, not so much to really go on about this. Obviously, backup quarterbacks, the quality of the play is kind of what you expect, really. 2 for 12 third downs for the Cardinals. The Broncos were 4 for 11. The less said about this one, the better. I think the less said about the Broncos, the better. I think, did I not say I don't want anything to do with them for the rest of the year?
Yeah, you
when
did.
They lost to the Raiders the second time. So, yeah, that's enough for me. I think I'll let you just review Broncos games from now on by yourself. I'll go make myself a cup of tea or something. I don't even like tea, but I'd rather drink tea than review a Broncos game right now.
You'd rather eat meat than review Broncos.
That's a stretch.
That's how bad they are.
Yeah. I'll eat cheese. How about that?
There we go. I'll let you off with that.
All right, let's keep going here. Which, speaking of the Raiders, they pulled up. Well, they got lucky. They somehow came off with a 30-24 victory over the New England Patriots. Josh McDaniels getting one over his former boss, and just, I mean, like that
what
play that won the game. Jacoby Myers, he said he was trying to be a hero, which I understand is fair enough. It's a game that you have to have.
He was the hero for the Raiders.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I get it. Do you know what I mean? I don't have a problem with it too much. Try to be the hero. It's more so the execution, which I don't know how many teams would like to put in a lateral drill. I'm sure it happens at practice. I'm sure there is lateral drills in there, but I don't know how much stock can be put into them. Really, I'm losing my train of thought here. Mac Jones was a problem in this game. I think that they should start Bailey Zappi next week, if I'm quite honest. I really don't think that Mac Jones was good at all. 13 for 31, 112 yards. And against this Raiders defense, which is, other than Max Crosby, tire fire. Chandler Jones, yeah, I suppose as well. I'm just not interested, really.
Are you a bit sour grapes because Devontae chose to go there?
Not really, because it's not exactly worked out for him.
I know. I think on Sunday there, how many actual yards did he actually have? Let's have a
look. He wasn't their receiving leader. He had less than 50.
That is embarrassing.
I think this is the first. Hang on, we'll have a look at their leaders. Receiving. Did he even catch one? Does it say? Oh, here we go. Yeah, 4 catches for 28 yards. This must be the first game they've won when he's had 4 or less catches.
Yeah.
Derek Carr was good. 20 for 38, 231 yards, 3 touchdowns and a pick. But like we say, this is still over for the Raiders. I think they can get eliminated next week if they lose. So it's just a lucky win that I don't think happened. That was right there in action. We saw Tom Brady luck against the Patriots right there. That kind of thing just doesn't happen to anybody other than Tom Brady, and in this case, Derek Carr.
Well,
it's the fact that right now is this. I feel like this kind of shows that Mac Jones plays so poorly, and the Patriots have a chance to win that game right at the end with a lateral, despite Derek Carr playing off. Well, I say he was good. He was okay. Barely 50% of his passes completed. So It's the fact that they just squeaked out with the win and in the fashion they did. I'm not impressed with the Raiders at all. And I think that Josh McDaniels, can see out the season, but I would be looking to get rid of him if I was Mark Davis.
Okay.
I mean, the Patriots outgained the Raiders.
I know
it had more first downs.
A real ham and egger. I didn't enjoy. I mean, just that play at the end is the only real major talking point. But
right, we'll bring it into the next game here. We have the Los Angeles Chargers.
The Chargers losing to the Titans.
It's happening. Jags are making the moves. They're doing it. They're going to do it.
On. I mean, this is the problem, right? I like Justin Herbert.
Mm-hmm.
As we said earlier on the show, it's like they've got Doug Peterson and Trevor Lawrence as a great coach and quarterback. Joe Burrow and Zach Taylor, great coach, great quarterback. Andy Reid's the same.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to include Jalen Hurts because of Nick Sirianni's playoff record.
That was only one game.
I know. That's.
I get what you're saying, but
yeah. So what I'm going to say is, Justin Herbert's a great quarterback with a shit coach.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But they got the win, and that's the main thing.
It was really important, and what we've seen from this Chargers defense, particularly, which has been quite, very poor, to be quite honest, this season, very playing a lot below expectations, is they played really well when it mattered the most. It was a tense kind of first half, 7-7 at halftime. But they didn't really give Ryan Tannehill a sniff. The Titans, is this 4 in a row they've lost now?
Something like that, yeah.
Derrick Henry, he had an all right game, 21 carries, 104 yards and a touchdown, but he was also the receiving leader, and that's just, you don't really want that, if I'm honest.
No, definitely not.
They were, the Titans were 3 for 11 on third down, Chargers 4 for 13. Justin Herbert wasn't even that great. 28 for 42, 313 yards, picked off twice. One of the picks was just really, really good. So I'm not going to give Justin Herbert a problem for that, but he wasn't amazing. And it's important that they managed to kind of rise above that. The important thing is he gave them a shot to win it at the end, and that's all it really matters when it comes down to it. That's what quarterback's job is to do. Austin Eckler had 12 carries for 58 yards and a touchdown. So the offense really wasn't, on top of its game like we've seen, from the past. And I think it's no doubt that Justin Herbert has regressed to an extent this season, but this was an important win that really keeps them alive. They're now 8-6, and we were thinking when they were 4-4 a couple of weeks ago or something like that. Yeah. We were thinking, is this just going to be another Chargers season? But they do have a really good shot to make it into the playoffs here. If we look at their schedule to end the season, Colts, Rams, Broncos. What's the excuse not to go 3-0 right there and finish 11-6 and get like a really tasty, 5 seed and maybe be playing the Jaguars in the first round of the playoffs?
And then get knocked out.
Yeah, obviously. But it's that kind of logic there, really, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. We look at the numbers. Chargers had 365 yards, the Titans 284. Obviously, Chargers did turn the ball over twice. Tennessee only just once. Time of possession was pretty even. The Chargers had more first downs, 23-17. The biggest news story at this game is Ryan Tannehill. He gritted out an ankle injury, left on a cart, came back in, but he's doubtful for this week and will likely be in line to play the Texans. He'll be in contention to play the Texans this week, Malik Willis. So I don't know. I don't want to think that the Titans are that limited. They could lose 5 in a row, and one of them would be to the Texans. But this is the kind of game where it's like, if Tennessee loses to the Texans, regardless of whether Ryan Tannehill plays or not, because he's not like an all-out, one guy that makes your team better. And that's not a dig at him. It's just, the way the roster is constructed, more so. It shouldn't be the case. They have Derrick Henry. Malik Willis nearly beat the Chiefs. Well, I say nearly beat the Chiefs. Played the Chiefs close At Arrowhead, completing what, 7 passes, was it?
Something like that. He didn't
5
throw
passes,
a
something
wide
like that.
receiver the whole game.
Exactly, yeah, something like that. So, it's could be an interesting one for sure. I think we'll get this would be Malik Willis's 3rd start of his career.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll really get to see how he has developed as a passer since his last one. And I'm not saying that's going to be huge strides, but maybe we'll see a little bit more with the Texans. And with the way the Texans have played the last couple of weeks,
they could sneak it.
Yeah, they could. And then, Jacksonville goes top of the division should they beat the Jets this on Thursday. So super interesting. Super interesting. This is, you say this division's a tire fire, but I don't think so. It's interesting.
Exactly.
All right. Let us get into the Cincinnati Bengals, an elite Joe Burrow coming back from 17 points down to beat Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Or should I put it this way? Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers blowing a 17-point lead by beating themselves constantly to lose to the Bengals 34-23, because that's what happened. The Bengals, Joe Burrow, 27 for 39, 200 yards, 4 touchdowns and a pick. That's as good as you like, right? But it's not the peak of his powers. And it was the fact that, Tom Brady threw 2 picks, fumbled the ball, was it twice?
Something like that, as I say.
Yeah, 4 turnovers.
Because this is where I don't like this, because Tampa Bay is going to get a home playoff game.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be under 500. That should not be allowed.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. The Buccaneers finished the season with
Arizona and
the Cardinals, Panthers, and Falcons, right? So absolutely no excuse not to go 3-0 there. But with the way they're playing, could you see them dropping to, the Panthers, who are kind of,
I could see them going 0-3.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. No, for sure.
I mean, Arizona are strange on prime time. I mean, they dismantled New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're not going to discuss Patriots because Kyler got hurt in the 3rd play, but I just think this is a strange time, and I just think Tampa Bay should actually turn around the NFL and forfeit their home playoff game.
Mm-hmm. That could be an interesting rule change. Instead of barring a team that wins their division with a losing record from the playoffs, maybe the top seeded wildcard team gets the playoff game at home instead.
Yes, that's what I think. Because
there you go.
When I hand my loyalty card back to Roger Goodell, I'll say him.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. After it's been exchanged for Super Bowl tickets.
Well, Sky sent me an offer to enter the competition to win them.
Oh, yeah?
The missus said she wants to come.
Oh, poor. That's poor. Well, you can do most of our reporting from out there then.
Yeah, it's a business class flight.
Oh, that'd be all right. We look at this game.
Why don't we leave Kerry with Emily and my missus, and me and you go?
Sounds good to me. Let's do it. Tom Brady in this game was 30 for 44, 312 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 picks, and 2 fumbles. Chris Godwin, had 8 catches for 83 yards and a touchdown. He looks like he's back to about 100% now, so that's a bright spot for the Buccaneers. But I mean, it's a strange game because you don't win a lot of games turning the ball over 4 times, but the Buccaneers had almost 200 yards more than the Bengals.
Do you know, it does help though. I mean, the Bengals, I'm going to say this. If I was playing the Bengals, I wouldn't be worried about Jamar Chase.
Yeah.
It's Tyler Boyd and is it T. Higgins leading the charge?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And they don't seem to be missing Joe Mixon very much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They couldn't get anything running anyway. I mean, Samaje Perine had 7 carries for 24 yards, and I think a lot of that's down to the fact that they maybe had to come away from the run. With being down 17 points, maybe that's, I don't know, maybe right on the end of the spectrum where you can stop running. But regardless, it proved to be fine. Joe Burrow came back, proved he's elite again. With the 12 incompletions in this game. I mean,
exactly.
That's
Joe Burrow
not even at the peak of his powers.
Well, if I had to give you top 5 quarterbacks, Joe Burrow would be number 2.
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes would have won.
I think that for MVP right now, Jalen Hurts, Patrick Mahomes, and Joe Burrow top 3.
The problem is, Paddy Mahomes will win it because it's a stat thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But what is valuable?
Yeah, to the team.
Trevor Lawrence is more valuable to the Jaguars than Patrick Mahomes is valuable to the Chiefs.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because I think even without Patrick Mahomes, the Chiefs would probably win that division.
Might be a bit tougher, but they'd definitely be in the they'd be in the conversation in week 15 still to win the division for sure.
Yeah.
Right then. Anything else to say about this game? Bengals were 5 for 13 on third down. Buccaneers 4 for 12. So nothing really impressive there. It's just, it's the turnovers which killed the Buccaneers in this game. They were cruising, and you think, oh, geez, this is kind of a mood killer for the Bengals. Obviously, with the Ravens losing, you think they could take advantage, move to the top of the division, and sure enough, it doesn't work out that way. But they came back to win. That's all that matters. They are top of the division, and I think they should stay there because they finished the season with Patriots, Bills, and Ravens. So 2-1 right there. At the very least, maybe even 3-0.
Yeah, the Monday night one against the Bills. I can't wait. I'm working that night.
But I'm gonna make sure I am off because I'd like to watch that one for sure. If the Bengals can complete the hat trick of the 3 AFC kind of contenders over the other teams. So they've beaten the Titans, they've beaten the Chiefs. If they beat the Bills, why are they not considered the best team in the AFC?
Because they're not considered the best team in the AFC because when it comes to the big dance, right? Last year they got a bit lucky.
But that's just what you need. And the thing is, they've been winning games without luck this time. They've been winning games because they've been punishing teams. They punished the Buccaneers for not hammering the nail in the coffin.
Exactly.
So, all right, we'll take a break and we will bring in our guest and review that Sunday night football game between the Giants and the Commanders, and then we will talk about the Rams at the Packers. And joining us now on the End of the Fourth football show, we have a Giants fan here to review the Sunday night football tilt between the Giants and the Commanders. It's Andi Robinson. How are you doing, bro?
Not bad, buddy. Yourself?
I'm no bad, mate. I'm no bad. So we're here and we're going to talk about the game on Sunday night with wasn't short of controversy, shall we say? What were your thoughts? How do you say happy with the win? Performance wise, what do you think?
Delighted with the win. Amused that Washington don't like it when calls don't go their way. They're forgetting a few of our past results, I think.
The player I want to talk about, Kayvon Thibodeau. I mean, he was everywhere.
It was a hell of a game for him. It was actually quite similar to a game Jason Pierre-Paul had for us in 2011 against the Cowboys. Out of nowhere, star game, and it really launched his career. So can only hope it would do the same for Tib.
The play that stood out for me was the one that the Commanders tried to jet sweep, and he blasted Logan Thomas into his own runner, then went and made the tackle.
No, I'm guessing he was randomly selected for a drugs test after the game, but
I know
he was incredible.
And then got a touchdown himself as well.
We've been waiting for this. It's been a while. Since he got here, we were promised he was going to be this big star, and it's been a slow burner, but he's been picking it up week by week, and he finally got what he deserved.
Chris is quite a big Daniel Jones fan. Which our listeners can attest. I say quite a big is probably an understatement. Daniel Jones is Chris's man crush, to be quite honest. 21 for 32, 160 yards. What do you think?
I'm getting a man crush myself, not going to lie. Definitely a Daniel Jones guy.
He's definitely played himself into a new, at least another year. Next year you've got to be hunting for a division crown to maybe get like that long-term extension at he would deserve based off maybe this year. Depending on the value of that contract might differ depending on how he plays next year. But I think at this point is when you're at a point with a quarterback in your system, and Daniel Jones is a really good example where he's obviously struggled through. Was it is this his fifth year?
This is fourth
year. They declined a 1-year option, but then there's a new coach come in. The offense is playing really, really well. This time next year, 2 years in this system, it's going to be favorable to have Daniel Jones around, whether that's just on maybe another year or a long-term extension over maybe a guy that's coming in through the draft. Or what would you say to that? Does there need to be more built around him?
I think at the moment we've played ourselves into a position where we're not going to be in a position to go for a quarterback. And honestly, I'm fine with that. I believe in Daniel Jones, but he's cleaned a lot of his game up. It was the fumbles, the interceptions, and a lot of that has gone. Like he had the near miss with the fumble, but when you're down, you're down. Ask Heineke at the other end. But Daniel Jones, what Daniel Jones needs is a weapon. The whole time we've had him, we've never given him a deep threat. So at the moment, you can't really test his arm. Every time he's gone long, he's thrown to someone that has let him down. And he's been let down time and time again. That game was his first win in prime time. I can name at least 2 others that he should have won. And the one that stands out is Philly last season, where Evan Ingram, he hits in between the numbers and the ball hits the floor. And then the Eagles go down the other end. And yeah, that was a night to forget.
Well, I mean, the Monday night, the first Monday night of the season, the Cowboys. I mean, it was a Trevon Diggs interception from winning that game. I mean, I'm going to be honest. If you look at since Daniel Jones has come in, this is the first coach he's had who's been a decent coach. I mean, Joe Judge, for all his things, is a special teams coach.
Oh, he's special
with a capital R.
But there's just been. This is the first time Daniel Jones has actually had a coach that believes in him. I mean, and if anybody had any doubts of whether Brian Daboll would trust him, week 1 against Tennessee, to go for that 2-point play when any other coach would have just kicked it through the posts and took it to OT.
Yeah, he set the tone for the entire season doing that. It was exactly that sort of thing that led to the win in London. Sorry for that, but I enjoyed that weekend. But it snowballed into a really decent start, and we've stumbled in the middle as we've picked up injuries and stuff like that. But obviously, Sunday night's result was a big thing for us, and hopefully, it takes us one step closer to the playoffs
and the Super Bowl.
I would not say no to that. I'd be surprised, but I wouldn't say no to it.
Vikings, Colts, and Eagles to finish the season. That's pretty tough. Other than the Colts, who are a pathetic outfit. What's the maybe 1 and 2 here? So 9.
He put 30 plus points on the Vikings.
And then look at the second half.
I'd take them in the second half. First half, I was looking at it thinking we would never win a game again this season. The Vikings is an extremely tough game. I'm a big fan of Justin Jefferson. I was at LSU, and I didn't expect him to light it up like he has, but it's fun to watch, especially with him in a fantasy team. But
yeah, he's in my fantasy team as well, so I'm very conflicted.
Can we just have a tie on Christmas Eve, please?
Yeah, he likes Kirk Cousins as well.
I see. I'm not a fan on Kirk Cousins. I think the Vikings would be well on their way to a Super Bowl win if they had a better quarterback. But I would fully expect to probably lose to the Vikings.
Do you know, to be honest, this week is a strange one because every other team, if you were playing maybe, Philadelphia this week, I would actually take the Giants because of obviously Jalen Hurts isn't playing. But I do think that if the Giants can just keep the ball, keep Kirk Cousins on the sidelines, score 39 points, then they might win.
There's no way we're going to score that sort of points.
Well, the Colts scored 33 and that wasn't enough.
They're a pretty soft offense, to be fair. I mean, like Daniel Jones at this point is better than Matt Ryan, okay?
We've got a very soft secondary at the moment.
So do the Vikings. So do the Vikings play a lot of soft
yeah. If we can get it into a shootout, Saquon shows up. That's the problem. Because we're running the ball. We're taking a lot of the clock off, and they throw a lot of the ball, which is how you get score 30 plus points in the second half. Because you're going through all, and it's just so quick. And if the defense shows up, you never know. It's any given Sunday or Saturday as it is this way. But it would definitely make my Christmas if we do win. I think we're one win here from the playoffs. Sorry, it's the other two games as well.
The Giants could make the playoffs this week. Give me 2 wee seconds, because I've been looking at my playoff picture because I quite like the playoffs.
While Chris is doing that, if we look towards this game, a lot of the things there's a lot of things to say that this could have gone Washington's way. Obviously, there was the missed DPI, which I know I've said on this podcast. We were speaking off air that the best teams overcome them, and clearly the Washington Commanders aren't. The Terry McLaurin asking if he was set twice and then being flagged for illegal formation, which negated.
Yes, I know he got flagged for bloody illegal formation. I had Brian Robinson and Saquon a rushing touchdown in 75 yards each. He had the bloody score. Just let it stand.
Chris isn't very happy.
You don't say. I'm sorry. Common sense. You're asking the guy, "Am I set?" And he's not answering you. He's holding the flag. Take the hint. Common sense. Call the timeout. Step forward. One of the two things. Like, you're obviously not set. He's literally holding the flag 4 seconds before that play goes.
And also, see, on another 2-point play, the one where Jahan Dotson illegally blocks them, and it's not as if he even tried to hide it. And then they went back 15 yards, and they attempted to kick an extra point from 43 yards. That was mental.
I'd have still gone for 2.
See, so would I, actually. I just think in that situation, but I think that was a good win for the Giants. They had to get that win.
It was big on a lot of fronts. Obviously, Thibodeau came of age during the game. Daniel Jones gets rid of the I can't win in prime time. Saquon Barkley gets rid of the tag that he can't win big games. So then there's a feel-good factor around a team that haven't been doing that great of recently.
Well, this week, if you're a Giants fan as you are, you would be supporting the Panthers and the 49ers, because if the Giants win and those two lose, the Giants are in the playoffs.
Nice. I didn't even know that myself, not going to lie.
There you go.
There's other permutations, but let's not go around, so-and-so can win and this and that. I mean, there's I think it's if Seattle lose, if Detroit lose, if Washington and Seattle lose, then the Giants win, then they're in.
All depended here on a Giants win that would be highly unlikely. And I always back us in every game, but I would be seriously surprised. I really do rate the Vikings.
Well, so do I as well, especially 1 o'clock Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, well, it's Saturday, Kirk, at whatever time it's at.
1 o'clock?
Is it 1 o'clock? Oh, well, there you go then. My final question for you is, if you were Taylor Heineke right now, obviously the tie before the bye for the Washington Commanders, and obviously that every team he's beaten, he's gotten a pair of Jordans in their team colors. Does he just rock around with one Jordan on because of the tie, or what? What are we talking about here?
Sorry, you totally broke up on me then.
Oh,
it totally froze. Sorry.
Taylor Heineke, when he wins a game, he gets a pair of Jordans in the opposing team colours.
Oh, right.
So if it's just a tie between the Giants and the Commanders, does he just get one from that? And obviously losing, does he just have one shoe right now?
He'd have 3 because he's beat us before. Oh, he's beat us a couple of times, to be honest.
Well, regardless, very, very good. Chris, anything else from you?
No. Just as I say, I'm looking forward to Christmas Eve now because I
he
get
could
my
speak
2
forever.
boys.
He could speak forever about Daniel Jones. Never seen him this giddy on the show before.
I assume you're not a fan after what happened in London.
I'm very I'm indifferent about it because it's a lost season regardless. I'm just glad I wasn't there to watch it. So.
Oh, were you not?
No, I couldn't get tickets. I did end up going to Green Bay a couple of weeks ago when we beat the Cowboys. So I was happy with that.
Of course, you could have come and seen us.
Not that big an achievement.
Well, I mean, so all this waffling on about the Jags beating the Cowboys earlier on in the show doesn't count then, no?
No.
Okay. All right then, Andy, have you got anything you want to plug on your end?
No, you can come and find us at the UK Giants. We're on Facebook and Twitter. Quite easy to find. We take fans from all over, to be fair, not just Giants. I think we've even got an Eagles fan in there. So if you fancy coming to join the community, be my guest.
There is an imposter.
I'm already there.
Pardon?
It's not a UK there. Giants.
I'm not getting that. Sorry.
He said he's already there.
Oh, fair enough. There. Sweet.
I said it's not a Daniel Jones fan club. It's a Giants fan club. You're a Jaguars fan.
It is, but opinions changing.
That's perfect, my man. Well, you have a good Christmas, and I'm rooting for the Giants this weekend to beat the Vikes. So
I appreciate it. You too, mate.
Have a good one. See you later.
See ya.
All right, then I'll take us home with the Monday Night Football review between the Green Bay Packers and the Los Angeles Rams. The Packers running out as 24-12 winners. Not a bad game, not a great game. Packers just did what they needed to do. Aaron Rodgers was 22 for 30, 229 yards, a touchdown and a pick, and I think he'd probably want that pick back. It was pretty bad, just sailed over Alan Lazard's head. Looked like there was maybe a little bit of miscommunication involved there, but I mean it's not all that often you see Aaron Rodgers do that. That's his 10th interception on the year, which that's the first time he's thrown double-digit interceptions in a season since 2010. So maybe what we're talking about here, book your tickets for Arizona Packers fans. I know I'm doing it. Baker Mayfield, a little bit of a return to earth for him and the Rams in this game. He finished 12 for 21, 111 yards, touchdown, and one pick. So, not horrible, but just kind of limited. The Packers defense just didn't really give him any opportunity to succeed, to be honest. They were just having their way with that offensive line from the very start of the game. To be honest, I think they sacked him twice on the opening drive. So, it was. I don't know what you want to make of it, really. The Packers didn't really blow the doors off a team they should have blown the doors off, in my opinion. It eliminated the Rams from the playoffs, of course, but that wasn't really. There wasn't going to be much doubt in that. To be quite honest, that was going to happen one time or another. Cam Akers, 12 carries for 65 yards, and he also had 3 catches for 35 yards. So, good day for him. And again, there's a lot to be said about the kind of bad juju of the Rams. Having to go back to Cam Akers after looking to trade him and saying he wasn't really going to be part of the team moving forward, running back to him with the tail between their legs, saying, "Oh yeah, can you be our lead running back and even our lead receiver?" It's not good. One thing I didn't like in this game was, the Packers defense. I know I've been saying that a lot, and I know Chris would kick my arse if he was joining us for the segment. But it's just the insistence on playing soft coverage on 3rd and long. It was 3rd and 15 that was given up. I can't remember if this was on the opening drive or not, but I was so confident that the Rams would score on their opening drive. And, they didn't, but I mean, it looked like they could have for a while. The defense just looked like it was going to let Baker have his way and make it a little bit interesting, towards the end. Aaron Jones had a nice game, 17 carries, 90 yards, and he did catch a touchdown as well. Romeo Doubs, his first game back since week 9, he had 5 catches for 55 yards. So, awesome to see him. And, with Christian Watson in the mix as well, I just think if I'm Aaron Rodgers, I don't understand why you wouldn't want to come back next year. Obviously, if you feel fine to do so, and I think $50 million, Romeo Doubs, Christian Watson, you've got to be happy to be, coming back, and maybe they even bring in, a top guy in the draft this year coming. I mean, we say that, but I mean, do we really expect it? Just a lot of the players in this year's Packers draft class, well, it's not been, obviously, it's been a disappointing season, but a lot of the players could have very, very high ceilings. All the players they drafted have very high ceilings. We've already seen Christian Watson having 8 touchdowns on the year. Romeo Doubs obviously been a beast. Quay Walker, he's having some rookie struggles, but he hasn't been too horrible. Devontae Wyatt, when he plays, is promising. Zach Thomas just kind of nailed down that starting right tackle spot in my book. He's been pretty good. I think that this was probably the most complete performance the Packers have put together on all 3 phases this season. And to say that, and the offense wasn't even really that good. If we look at it, they compiled 345 yards, which isn't bad, but it's not great. AJ Dillon did have 2 touchdowns on the ground. I don't think that trying to tackle a guy like AJ Dillon in the cold is going to be a fun thing for anybody to do. You miss me with that. The Packers were 4 for 9 on third down. Sorry, they did go 2 for 2 on fourth down, no, and 4 for 11 for the Rams on third down there. The Rams, they only had 156 total yards. Aaron Jones did fumble, so the Packers had 2 turnovers. The Rams only had 1. But the key here is, the Packers had twice as many first downs. They had 27 to the Rams 13, and they had the ball for 37 minutes. Sorry, so that tells you a lot there. There's one anomaly I want to point out here is that I think that Darnell Savage will be moving on from the Packers. He seems to have clearly lost his job to Rudy Ford in this defense. He played 1 defensive snap last night and gave up the 3rd and 15 to Van Jefferson. And he only had 9 snaps on special teams. So, unless he picks it up and starts playing better, we could maybe see him on another team next year. It's just kind of like he played so well, very much like Clinton Dix, just playing, just being a beast the first couple of years, and it's just kind of fallen off really, and it hasn't been impressive at all this year. But yes, that will do it for this game. Nice win for the Packers. That's 2 in a row. First time since weeks 3 and 4 we've won 2 in a row. So put into that what you will. AJ Dillon was the first Packers player not called Christian Watson to score a touchdown at Lambeau Field since Allen Lazard in week 6, which is another tough one. Just kind of shows, the kind of struggles the Packers have come up with this year. But yeah, nice win for the Pack. 2 wins in a row. Playoff dream's still alive, and all we have to do is get in. But yes, thank you very much for catching this episode of the End of the Fourth Football Show. We will be back on Thursday on the Let's Talk Sports Network, exclusive as our Thursday night football preview show between the Jags and the Jets will go live. Can the Jags keep up their momentum and take a temporary lead in the AFC South for that week until we see the Titans play? But yes, you can check us out on Facebook, on Twitter and Instagram. All our links will be in the description. And if you're watching on the Let's Talk Sports Network, our entire Week 16 review show or preview show will be out earlier on the official End of the Fourth Show channel. So that's also linked in the description. You can check that out. But yes, from me, B-Hizzy, we will catch you next time. Ciao for now.